Well, hello and good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 6, 2024. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, the boss, Otis Wiley, and Jehuu Caulcrick. If this is your first time, we absolutely want to welcome you to the show. If this is not, we want to thank you for your loyalty. I mean, look, without you guys, we would not get the great, phenomenal guests that we continue to get, and we don't expect to disappoint you today because we have a great one. Look, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media handles at This is Sparta MSU, and click the like and subscribe button, and let us know where you're watching from. I know there's a lot of people in the chat already, fellas. It's warmed up. I think we got Hawaii in the house. We got
Austin, Texas.
We got the boot.
The boot, baby. We're from the boot.
Austin, Texas. I love that. And also, we always got Lansing. We love Lansing. We got the Villages in Florida. Guys, Otis, man, what's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
What's up? I'm good, man. I'm blessed, highly favored. It's good. It's good. It's a good Tuesday. Club going up on a Tuesday, and this is Spartan MSU fam. So, three amigos back together again.
There we go. Steve Smith, no greater loyal listener than Steve. I mean, he's always on us every day. You know what I mean? Giving us examples of things that he wants to do. And we love you for it, Steve. But, guys, we have a jam-packed show. We want to make sure that everybody gets to see the Spartan basketball team. Go ahead and knock off those Gophers once again. They already did it before. They got to do it again tonight. It's a road game tonight at 9 o'clock, Chew. And I don't know, they're playing on what network?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's the network. It's just to, so
the bird.
Harry was throwing up eggplants last time.
Birds, Harriet.
Birds of a feather flock together. You caught?
Oh, man. Look, Spartans beat Maryland. Talking about basketball here. Let's get into it. On Saturday, 63-54. Big game for the Spartans in the Big Ten win.
Yeah, this was a tough battle. I mean, obviously Maryland is out, playing tough defense, and we couldn't get in the groove first half, and then you see second half. Finally, they came to it, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, we got to cheer when we're down in the dumps, man. We got to get these guys rallying, and we're waiting until they score big or make a big dunk, big shot, and we got to get them out the dumps when they're low right now. But Malik Hall showed his tail off again, which we see some of the highlights. That first move at the beginning of the game kind of set the tone for his output and stance in that game. But the best part, which I don't know if y'all heard on TV, but when Reese is running up and down the court, the end zone, starts cheering, Angel Reese is better. Like, Angel's better. Like, it was pretty disrespectful, but it was good that we got the win, and now we can look forward to trying to take this dub tonight at 9 p.m.
Yeah, definitely. We have I see in the chat that we have a Drew Miller fan. That's what it says there. Where's Drew Miller? So he'll be on. Don't worry, he'll be on.
Like Miller, M-I-L-L-A.
Drew Miller.
That's how to spell it. We must have had that wrong. Miller. All right. I like that.
He'll be here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. He's just relaxing right now. He's doing his hair. He's backstage in hair and makeup right now. So those hockey guys got to be pretty. You know how they are.
No doubt about it, man. You look. Talking about women's basketball, the women's team does beat Minnesota as well, 76-65. Another big game for the women's basketball team.
I wish we'd have that photo of Theron Halleck shooting a three in the corner, and it was a pride shot of just staring down Minnesota women's basketball player, just like even kill, like we here. I mean, I love watching them play. Even if I can't catch it in person, they're an exciting crew to watch. They're playing for each other, and we're still balling with just guards, which is crazy. We are winning and playing tough basketball with nothing but guards. So the future is bright, but keep on coming out and watching Michigan State women's basketball.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Those, we say it week in and week out every time we talk about them on here, that they're such an exciting team to watch. They're run and gun. Anytime you see it, it's always something exciting and entertaining. So keep watching them and let's keep rolling with it. Let's keep rolling, ladies. Both squads, the men and the women, they have to continue to make that run down in tournament time.
No doubt about it. And the women's team improves to 17-5 on the season. Looking forward to seeing them continue this nice. I mean, they have a pace. I mean, maybe all guards, but it's high energy, lots of defense, and man, do they know how to fill up those buckets. So very excited to see how they progress. We're going to get some women's basketball people on this show. We have to. Maybe a coach, a player. That's coming up. But, we're going to talk about other things. We have the basketball game tonight, obviously, for men's. But let's talk football for a moment, guys, with the recruiting update. Just last night, signing day is tomorrow, the national signing day. I know that everybody focuses on the early signing day with the majority of the signees coming in late December. But tomorrow, signing day, and there's a big commitment from defensive lineman Mike Beeler, who commits to MSU out of the Chicago area.
Another good get for Coach Smith. He's really put together a really good class, and this signing day that's coming up tomorrow is, like you hit on, Stray, is the forgotten one. It used to be the big one. It used to be the one and only when we all signed. This is the day that we signed. Tomorrow's going to be, you're worrying about. Hope school's not closed so you can get to that fax machine to send in your letter. It's definitely the testament to Coach Smith and the class that they've been able to put together in such a short period of time, and it's only going to get better week in and week out, month in and month out, and year in and year out going forward. So now the big thing is, once the class is together, let's get that social cohesiveness going. Let's get the guys that are going to be on campus early. Let's get them in there. Let's start that winter mats program. Let's get that going, and then get into spring ball and start bonding, building, learning the playbook offensively, defensively, and special teams, so you can go into fall camp with momentum.
Yeah, and this is a huge testament to the foot traffic. They've been boots on the ground. I saw, one of our very own, Greg Cooper, who is a coach in Davidson and Flint, just saying, hey, it was good to see the coaching staff, some representatives in, the heart of the cities of Michigan. And then you're looking at where I hope Thursday we can provide a map of, like, coaches have been at work. Like, we have been truly representing the green and white strong in high schools. I don't know. I can't speak on the previous coaching staff. And I know we talk about recruiting, but, like, they're active and they're quietly doing work. They're putting a body of work behind the scenes and quiet, putting their head down and getting into the living rooms of these kids and their families. But, Chicago Simeon is a legit, powerhouse for producing some talent. So I think there's a great opportunity to get more out of the state of Illinois. But for Coach Smith, this is a huge, huge get.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, everybody talks about this guy as a very twitchy player that's explosive, 6'3", 275 pounds, out of Chicago area. He was being recruited heavily by Oregon, and Coach Demetrius Martin, that just got here from Oregon, who's a Spartan Dawg, was recruiting him heavily there. So he brought that recruitment over to Michigan State, and the defense coordinator, Joe Rossi, he saw him, watched his film, extended the offer. Things moved really quickly after that, and looks like Michigan State beats out Oregon, Colorado State, and a few other Big Ten schools for the commitment of this defensive lineman, which you can't be too deep on that defensive line, fellas.
You absolutely can't. You have to be, if you if you have the opportunity and ability to rotate defensive line there, it's going to be it's something that's massive, because guys can go 110, 100 miles an hour every single time, because they know when, if they get tired and need a quick one, they can go out, get some water, get a sip, reevaluate things, and then go back in there. And that way you can put different players in positions to be successful. That's the way you can do it. If you're a rush guy, you just focus on, getting on that end, rushing defensive line. You can play some games, do some stunts, TEs, ETs, all those different things, work with your linebackers and feel that there's going to be no drop off when the next guy gets in. So if you have that fluid of rotation in the defensive line, that's case for a dangerous defense right there.
No doubt about it, guys. I mean, we got commitments coming around all over the place. Tomorrow is the big signing day. 22 commitments now for Michigan State. 18 of them already have signed, so 6 more in the fold for tomorrow. We're going to be tracking that closely because we have a big football day coming up on Thursday, and we're gonna tease that a little bit because we're gonna talk to probably the number one guy in Michigan State football right now. So we have to, get you guys prepared for that. That's a teaser. We're gonna talk about that a little later, guys. Gymnastics, moving on, does beat University down that road on the road, and Sage Kellerman records her second perfect 10 of the season on vault.
Just an absolute.
We got to take credit because we had him on the show, right? We got to take credit.
The mojo. That is the Sparta mojo, baby. Yeah.
No, it was an absolute cool thing here.
There it is.
Man,
I know you.
This is one of those things that if we did a challenge, could we do what they do? Like, there's absolutely I can't do that. There's no way I'm doing that.
No, there's no. Yeah.
Now floor routine, I'm out there getting it.
Yeah, till you have to jump. This isn't a stand still and dance contest.
Right. I mean, I can flip. You got the springs. I think they could teach us. I feel like that's a good little cameo segment. If they teach us how to go ahead and flip backwards and all that jazz, I'll pay to see you do that for sure.
One good thing I liked about this, I saw a video on their Instagram post, and after every victory, all the teams will sing the fight song, and they were in the back there singing the fight song, and apparently there's a line of of U of M alums, waiting to get in there, and they're just belting the fight song, while they're right there. That's just adding insult to injury right there. We came in your house, we beat your ass, and we're gonna sing our fight song in front of your alums. Great job, ladies.
So that's a sweep, right? Do we already play? We already had a meet with them or no? Am I tripping?
I think that's a sweep.
I think that's a sweep. Harriet, I need you to respond. Call Harriet.
Harriet, are we getting the brooms out? Are we getting the brooms out?
We need to. But yeah, this is good. I like when Coach Rowe. I like when they capture the video and Coach Rowe is like, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, he is cheering so hard from a standpoint of you see everybody hugging. I just like the celebration. Like, I'm not sure we do that in football that much. We might
scream at the top of your lungs.
Like we're just like, oh yeah. Like you might get the jump in and like get the wings with the linemen, but like, it's kind of like a ha ha ha. All right, next play.
Man, it's intense. It's definitely intense. But in the national rankings, this team is 10th overall in the vault, 6th overall bar, 6th, beam 15th, and floor 17th. So that's the national rankings for Michigan State's gymnastics team, which is on absolute fire right now. Ladies, keep up the good work.
Harriet just said gymnastics. Gymnastics on the 9th. Come over to the merchandise booth, mention this is Sparta, and I'll give you a free T-shirt.
There it is, right? You heard it here.
What they say? Whoop, there it is.
Right.
Whoop, there it is.
For the thousands of people watching us live right now, you go head to the booth. Where is it at? The merchandise booth mentioned
in Jennison Fieldhouse.
In Jennison. That's where you need to go.
7 p.m. at Jennison Fieldhouse. Mention
there you go.
Sparta MSU, you get a free shirt.
All right. I mean, that's you too, Woody. If you're in Hawaii, come on over. Get you a free T-shirt. All right, hockey. This is a subject we're going to get into today. They split 2-game series versus Notre Dame. Hockey set the most single season Big Ten win record against Notre Dame.
Yeah, another good trip. This is going to be a battle for the Spartans going into South Bend. We talked about, the Spartans are great at home, and their record on the road. They still, were doing well on the road, but they sometimes just stumble, and they were 1-1 on the road here, going against a good Notre Dame team. Notre Dame's not as good as they are traditionally. They're down a little bit this year, so. But great job to the Spartans for doing that. And, you talked about a record-setting, most Big Ten wins. So that's something good. Coach Nightingale has this team firing all songs. I'm looking forward to seeing this team play into, the tournament and hopefully get that excitement back of playing in the Frozen Four and hopefully bring back a national title to East Lansing. Because we know when the hockey team brings a title, it's a party.
It's a party. It's nothing better than a former player that is doing what he's doing, and Coach Nightingale. I think this is a huge testament to his leadership. In year 2 to take us from a so-so program to now top ranked and recognized, and people fear us when they come into MUN, and they fear us when we go on the road, and that's where he said. The monsters. That's what he said from day one. We will build this program back to where the prominence of what it was. And I'm looking forward to who we got going on coming up soon.
A lot of good stuff coming. Wait a second. Okay. Hair and Makeup has just notified me that we are good to go. All right, so we can move on to the next segment, gentlemen. Like what you guys have heard so far, please hit the YouTube like and subscribe buttons. That's what we need. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms at This is Sparta MSU. We'll be back in a moment with a champion, an NHL, a dog of a hockey player, Drew Miller joins us after these messages from our friends over at IHOP, Trevoloni, and SeatGeek.
Everybody come for the fresh and fruity. Only at IHOP, it's Rudy Tooty. Mix and match like a little combo cutie. Happening now at the big extravagoody.
The Rudy Tooty Extravaganza starting at $7. Create your own combo with eggs and bacon. Only at IHOP.
Are you confused about whose interests your financial advisor really serves? Is your advisor making decisions that benefit you, or is he just chasing a fat commission for himself? Spartan fans, you deserve a commission-free advisor with no conflicts of interest, like Trevoloni Asset Management. Trevoloni Asset Management is a fully independent, fee-only registered investment advisor. The company is even owned by a Spartan, me, Antonio Trevoloni. Visit us at SpartansMoney.com. That's SpartansMoney.com. Make an appointment today. Go green!
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Hey, fellas, without further ado, look, the man of the hour. Chew, I'm going to let you do the honors on this one. Introduce him.
Oh, fresh out of hair and makeup. Legendary family. If you go to the Graduate Hotel, you will see in your room staring at you will be lined up players of the Miller family lineage in the room.
45 of them.
In the Graduate Hotel. Great, these great hockey players, but at the end of the day, I can vouch for this. Great people, great human beings, great dudes, great people that you could say you're proud to associate yourself with. So without further ado, let's bring Mr. Gray Hair himself, Millsy.
Oh man, I had to get my burner phone on mute though because D Milla.
You got so excited you couldn't even spell your name.
You guys having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming
out. Oh man, thanks for coming.
We can hang out sometime, Jehuu.
That's all I want, man. That's all I want. I've been to your house, but you made me stand outside.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So, Drew, let's talk. Let's get into it here. Long lineage of Millers playing at Michigan State. Was there ever like a doubt with where you were going to go to school?
No, I mean, in my mind, it was never. I think growing up, going to Michigan State hockey games, my family were season ticket holders. My grandparents had season tickets when Munn opened, when my dad played there. So it was something that just was what the Miller family did. We had home games Friday and Saturday. We were there both nights. So for me to grow up around Michigan State sports, especially the hockey team, it helped me build my love for the game, build my love for the university, but really drove me to want to be a Spartan. And I think just following the family footsteps, that was what I wanted to do. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Once I got to a certain age, I think that's where my dad stepped in and was like, if you want to do this, you got to work hard at hockey, but you also got to be a student athlete. So he really stressed the importance of doing my schoolwork, and not that I was a 4.0 student, but I made an effort to make sure that I was eligible to get into school. And that was a big part of my hockey career, was being a student athlete.
So did any other schools even recruit you, or did they be like, we don't even have a shot with this, let's just go ahead, go to MSU?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to any other schools. I actually signed my letter of intent and my deferral for a year in the same sitting with Ron Mason. So I knew that I was going to go to school there, but they wanted me to play another year of juniors. And that made it so I was legally able to work out with the team. So I had 2 summers of workouts before I came in the Michigan State as a freshman. So I think that just helped me be familiar with the workouts and the guys and be around the team. But also, I don't know if many people know, but I'm not the biggest guy. So you're
6'2".
Yeah, but I mean, I'm tall, but I came into school at like 150, and I think I left at like 164. So and then when I'm playing pro, I think I got to pretty consistently playing around like 177, 178 was like pretty consistent for me. So I was on the lighter side. But I think just signing that letter of intent, knowing I was going to be coming to school, kind of maybe had backed off some other schools from committing that early. But in my mind, I was never going anywhere else. This is where I wanted to be. It was a dream come true to put that sweater on for the first time and be a Spartan.
So look, Drew, you come from a family. How many of you? Is it 10?
I was the 10th.
You were the 10th.
Yeah.
How many total in the family played? Is that your last?
As of right now, I'm the last one, but
okay.
My brother, my nephew Bodie is turning 9 soon, so he's playing hockey out in Southern California. So we got high hopes for him, and he loves the game of hockey. And he's come back to Michigan State in the summer for the hockey school the last 2 summers. So he's learning all about Michigan State, the fight song. He understands that's where his family went. So he's on the right track right now for sure.
Definitely on the right track.
Talking about the impact, you said Ron Mason, God rest his soul. Ron Mason, legendary hockey coach and athletic director at Michigan State, recruited you. What was it like, with Ron Mason as a coach and just somebody who can guide you through your career?
Yeah, so I was fortunate to sign under him, but then I think it was like 2 weeks later, he announced his retirement. So I actually played for Rick Comley. In my career. So it was a little bit different signing for a coach and then knowing that he was going to leave. But I think my whole entire life, having a connection to the hockey team, I was going down in the locker room and eating pizza with the guys after games. And I was in like 4th grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade, stealing tape and hanging out. So I think I had a few times where Ron Mason was like, Drew, come on, you got to get out of the locker room. We're still talking here. So I was down there pretty quick. I just run down. I don't think really had much security back then. I was just run down the locker room and hanging out with the guys. So he obviously had a humongous effect on the hockey team. I think the teams that he put together, the runs they went on, I think just the attendance record speaks for itself. I think they had some crazy 20 plus years of consecutive sellouts. So they put together a program that it was top notch across the country. And I think that's what's exciting right now is to watch Adam Nightingale kind of do that same thing as bringing Michigan State hockey back up to that level, have an expectation of his players, and making the crowds like kind of go back to that old Michigan State hockey and relive that and to have that expectation of every night coming on the ice and having that product. And that's what's exciting right now, I think, for the alumni and the fans is we're getting back to that. Players from the USA program or some of the high-end players from across the country want to come play for him and be a part of it. So it's an exciting time for Michigan State hockey for sure.
Yeah, Drew, you touched on it, with Coach Nightingale, with Adam coming back. You were part of that kind of former player coalition of finding your new future, leader for the hockey program. Kind of talk about, what you all were expecting. Clearly, we have found our guy and who wore the green and white, but talk about the process, because I know you were at the press conference when, Adam took that stage and the mic and introduced himself as the new leader. But talk about the process of bringing in Adam. Yeah,
I think that from what I was told, that the process was they were looking for, obviously they were hoping to have an alumni come in, but it didn't have to be. And I think that Adam just in his interview just really separated himself from everyone else, and which I'm not surprised. I mean, Adam played juniors with my brother in Sault Ste. Marie, so I would go visit my brother, and I met Adam probably when I was 13 years old maybe. And I think just knowing his family, his parents, brothers, they're a stand-up family. He always did things the right way when he played. And I had an opportunity to play with him at Michigan State for a couple of years. You can tell he's a leader. And then he went out into the coaching side of hockey, and he has some really good credentials, been around a lot of different positions. I think video coaches, coaching at Shattuck St. Mary's, being in the NHL. I think he's got a perspective that not a lot of coaches kind of go on that path that he did. And I think he's able to bring his experience from being at USA Hockey and some of those relationships that he's had. And really, that's the difference maker right there is these high-end kids trust him and they want to play for him. And I'm not in the locker room listening to his speeches, so I can't attest to that. But you can tell that these kids, they would run through a brick wall for him, and he gives them an opportunity to get better and gives them the resources. And obviously they have the new locker room, which is amazing. That's a great recruiting tool, but you can have the best building and the best fans that show up. But if you don't have a coaching staff that's going to help mold these kids and get them to that next level and give them an opportunity to play pro hockey, the locker room and the arena doesn't matter. And I think that Adam came in, he built a coaching staff around him that's going to allow him to even go to higher levels. So I think that's what's exciting, that you see the potential. You see some of his people that he's already signed for next year and the year after that. And they're big. I mean, they're big time players. And he was able to go out in the portal and get some players that are a little bit older, came from other schools, had some success there, and wanted to be a part of what he's building. And that's where I think the success is coming from right now. So it's fun. It's fun to watch and be a part of it as an alumni.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's definitely exciting. And, so back to, being in college, one thing that I really loved, and I know where you're going to go after I say this. I already told Otis about this already. I love the relationship that we as football had with the hockey team back when we were in school there. It was working out together after workouts, buying a few cases of beer, going golfing, drinking till we see 3 balls on the tee and trying to hit the one in the middle. So, we had some intense workouts together. So I'll give you your platform right now to go ahead and say it.
You want me to talk about when we whooped you guys in the Junkyard Wars?
So,
if Michigan State football got soft after I graduated. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, Coach Manny used to always say, you guys just have motivation because you guys want to get the happy hour quicker. And he wasn't wrong. Out with the boys, up with the men, they say, right? And so you got to get your work in.
Here we go. The story goes. So after we get done with the intense, brutal Coach Manning workout, the hockey team were just lollygagging around in the weave there. And so we had like the junkyard dog, race.
Fridays. Yeah, Fridays, right? We did the junkyard.
It was a Friday. Yeah, so I told you happy hour.
It wasn't, you guys weren't stronger than us. You guys were just smarter at the time. And you used like a chain system to go through there. We try to use brute strength to get all the stuff across the line, and they were able to beat us.
All right, so we had those humongous sleds that 4 people had to push. We had
built out of all wood, by the way.
All huge, heavy wood.
Yeah.
Push those. We had that. We had 100-pound
sandbags,
weights, 50 pounds sandbags. I mean, we had just a smorgasbord of stuff from the weight room. And it was on one side of the end zone and then on the other side. So there's 2 teams. You had to go take all of it down to the 50-yard line, drop it off. And then once you got it there, you had to take everything back to the end zone. And I think we had to take it back to the 50. I think there was back down.
Yeah.
And then we had to clean it up. Man, we finished and we were already cleaning it up, and the football team hadn't even finished their second one, and they were pissed. They seen us, we would finish and we'd run back to the end zone to grab something else. And we were loading up the sled with all this stuff and pushing it. And some of the football guys were pissed, but we didn't have enough hockey guys. So we grabbed Jay, how many was 6, 7 football guys?
Yeah.
And you guys all the full guys were giving their teammates so much shit after they won, and they were like, oh yeah. And I told you, the faster you get done, the sooner you can go to happy hour. So that's our motivation. So
hey, Chew, we looked at the sides are they forming a flying V?
right, exactly. They were organized. But yeah, so with that, that great relationship, and after the year after you leave, Michigan State wins the national title in 2007 in hockey. How did that you talk about, when Otis and I will talk about being the foundation when Coach D'Antonio came there, but all that stuff, that momentum was taken from your, guys like you, for those guys to go in and win the national title. How proud of those guys were you?
Yeah, I mean, I was a captain of the hockey team my junior year, and the guys, these are my brothers. They're still best friends with today. I mean, you guys know how it is. These are guys you go in with, you spend so many years with, and I made a personal decision. I left after my junior year, and it was tough. I mean, obviously, I talked about my whole childhood was Michigan State, so I wanted to be a Spartan, and I wanted to be a Spartan for 4 years. But pro hockey was calling, and I made the decision to leave and forgave my senior year. And I watched my best friends and my buddies and the Spartan hockey team win the national championship. And I was in Portland, Maine in the minors. And I can still to this day, I was at the bar. It was called Rivalries. My wife was with me. And when they won, I was doing laps around the bar, just oh, I was already calling the guys, leaving them voicemails, how pumped I was. I was so excited for them, but it was, those guys, everyone was so close on the team, and they hit their stride at the right time. And we had some great players, guys. A lot of guys played in the NHL. A lot of guys had pro careers, and even guys that didn't even make it to the next level, they played their role so well. And everyone was part of that team to win that. And that's such a huge moment for Michigan State hockey to get that national championship in 2007. So no, I was so proud of the team, and I think that just there's obviously a lot leading up to it over the years, and I think just a lot of good momentum, like you said, Jehuu. It's a great thing. I think winning a championship at any sport or at any level brings the team together. So a lot of those guys still include me because I was part of their class, but a lot of them get together. This last summer, we did a first annual RV camping trip, and a lot of the guys, and I think we have like 19 families.
That sounds legit right there.
That does.
This year we have like
get an invite, man. Come on.
29 families this year at the campsite.
We'll be quiet.
Yeah, no, you don't. You won't be quiet. No one's quiet. But it's fun. I think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, do I wish I was a part of it? Heck yeah, I do. Those are my boys, and to do it at Michigan State would have meant a lot. But I left and I joined Anaheim, and I get to go up and win the Stanley Cup with them that year. So to come back with the Stanley Cup and take pictures with my boys with the national championship trophy and the Stanley Cup, I'll never forget. I mean, that was sweet.
Where was that Stanley Cup in?
There we go. That's we had brought out the Mun.
How many Shark Bowls were taken out of that Stanley
Cup?
Oh
yeah, a lot of Shark Bowls.
Oh yeah,
a lot of Shark
Bowls. So Stanley has been in Rick's and in Landshark. You know, true. You talk about your childhood, you know, and how integrated you were with Michigan State hockey from the beginning. You know, you have a brother, right? Ryan, it's your brother.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that he came in my era. He's a goalie, great goalie. You know, he played in the Cold War, that game outside.
Yeah, right? they played in the first big outdoor game.
What is your thoughts on that? Like, I know you can hear the good, the bad, the ugly as brother, you know, hearing it. But like, what is that like? Because I know that's completely different than what you typically experience in playing hockey indoors in the arenas. What's that like on hockey players playing in a stadium atmosphere like that?
Yeah, I mean, I played in 2 outdoor games with the Red Wings. We played at that school down the road, which was pretty cool because to play in a hockey game that in front of over 100,000 people, that was pretty amazing. It's different. I mean, we played in a cold. I mean, when you play hockey in a rink, the fans might be cold, but the players, I'm sweating. I'm so hot. Right. You play outside, you can't sweat that much, and you're so cold. And they had the heated benches, and so you sit up, and your legs are like Jello, and you're like, your stick is like supposed to have a certain flex to it. It's like stiff as a board, so you're out there. So you're in the elements. Like you feel like you're on a pond hockey, and you got to play a real game that matters. Like it counts. And so it was an adjustment, but it definitely, just like as you guys played in those big stadiums, to hear that roar of the crowd, it's different than an ice rink with 20,000 people. It's loud, but to hear that roar of like 100,000 people, dude, I felt that like in my body. I was like, dude, this is sweet. That was pretty cool. But to watch my brother play in the first outdoor game, I was playing juniors in Lansing at the time. And so I had played a game, I think, that in a tournament that morning, and we bus back from Detroit area and got to go to the game. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, because no one in hockey ever really did anything like that. So to go out there and set that record for the university, to set that record, I think it was like 75,000 people for a game, was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the mindset. All right. Because to play football is one thing, and the mindset that you have to have, but to play hockey, the mindset you have to be crazy is definitely there, because I've had conversations with you. The pucks, how fast are pucks going? Once
60 to 100 miles per hour.
So 100 miles an hour, and you guys are like diving in front of it to
watch out now,
laying your bodies in front of it, like
for love of the game, baby, for love of the game.
And so that for love of the game, you had an incident with the Red Wings, I believe, right? when the skate came across your face. And I think we have a picture of that there. And I know you wanted to go back in the game. So
I still got a dark beard there too.
Yeah. So talk about that moment a little bit.
And Ryan Day.
And the fact about you wanted to go back in the game and everything, your wife coming back.
I think in that moment, it was first shift of the game. I think it was my first shift. It was maybe second shift. It was like 2 minutes gone out of the period, face off. And I mean, it's a moment that scared the crap out of me for sure, because those skates are so sharp. Most of the NHL guys or most pros get their skates sharpened before every single game. I play beer leagues now, and I probably get it sharpened like once every 3 or 4 months. So it's so sharp that the skate came up and it actually hit me from the bottom, hit me here, crossed over my eyeball, and hit me in the eyelid. And I didn't know it happened so fast. So like, I didn't know. My head was like, oh my God, I just got sliced in the neck. That's what I thought. And I'm like, okay, there's almost 20,000 people here. I'm not bleeding out on the ice in front of these people and dying. Like, I know that the doctors sit behind the bench. So I'm like, get off the ice and get to the doctors as fast as you can. And your body knows where the injury is. Like, my head was like, where is it? Your neck's bleeding. My hand went right to my face. So I knew like halfway to the bench that it wasn't my neck, it was my face. But I'm like, oh my God, now my eye is like burning. And it was probably like 20 minutes before they figured like they could stop the bleeding to figure out if my eyeball is still going to be there. So it was pretty stressful. But I think it was like an hour and a half of getting stitched up. My wife comes in and I'm just finishing up, and all of a sudden, like I've been talking to the equipment guy throughout the whole time. So he got my jersey, like my other jersey, so all the blood was off. So he grabbed my backup jersey. He got my face mask like fixed so I could go out with like a guard. Got everything ready. So right when I get up off the table, I'm done. They're cleaning me up, and my wife comes in, and I'm like bending down, tying my skates, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "The third period just about to start. Like, I'm about to go out with the boys. Like, we're fighting for playoffs." And she's like, she looks at the doctor, and the doctor's like, I don't know. And she was like, "Over my dead body, you're gonna let him go out there? Like, what the heck are you doing?" And I was like tightening my skate, and all of a sudden, like from laying down for an hour and a half, the blood started like pooling in here, and like my eye started to close a little bit. And I got up and like walking around, and I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't go out there. Like I couldn't really see that good over here because of the swelling. But I tried to get back out there.
Oh man,
I want to playoffs, man. We're fighting for a playoff spot. So you want to be out there with your teammates and contributing to the team. And so I went. I think that picture. Well, there's a picture like from CVS, and I don't know how. I sent it out to like 15 of my buddies or family, and all of a sudden it was like on ESPN, CNN, USA Today online, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, of course, like the way I go like viral is like slice my face off, almost a pirate. And that's the way that I'm going to be known. I went to practice. I practiced the next day, and I think we played the following day after that maybe in Carolina or something. And I think someone asked me like, "Well, how are you going to play like with this and that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not Zetterberg and Datsuk. Like, all I got to do is like block shots in the penalty kill and dump the puck in and change. Like, I'm good." But all jokes aside, I feel very fortunate that obviously every day and game after that was a bonus, because I knew how close I was to losing my eye. And still to this day, like now my kids are starting to look at my face and like, "Dad, what's that scar? What's that? What's this? What's that?" And I'm like, yeah, it was a crazy sport.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew, talk about with the Red Wings, the hometown team. How was it playing in the Joe? Because like Joe is such a just prominent, establishment venue. I still to this day wish they didn't tear it down and go to Little Caesars, but that's me. But I wasn't playing in the Joe in those playoff situations with the octopus being thrown on that whole ritual tradition. How was it, man?
It was amazing to be fortunate enough to play for my hometown team at a time when I first came into the team in 2009, 2010. Lidstrom was still here, Holmstrom, Osgood, Maltby, Draper, Datsuk, Zetterberg. I mean, I walked into the locker room for the first time, and I'm like, is this real? Like, I get to play these guys? So it was great knowing that you're coming to the rink every day, at least the first 7 seasons, I would say. The last season we didn't make playoffs, but there was an expectation that we were going to win every game. And that we call it the Red Wing way. And we had these veteran guys that have won Stanley Cups and are future Hall of Famers or now Hall of Famers now. And you just knew we were going to find a way. And talking to a lot of guys that played pro sports and pro hockey, like not every team felt that way. So to have the privilege to be on the Red Wings, play in front of my hometown crowd, it was awesome. Joe Louis Arena. I mean, I just saw Al Sabaka, the Zamboni driver, on Sunday at an alumni game. And he, 50 years with the organization and doing the octopus and just the traditions that came from winning so many consecutive, making the playoffs 25 years. And I remember one playoff game. It was crazy. It was almost like the movie Gladiator when he's like down below and it's so loud and like the sand's coming down.
Mhm.
And our locker room was like kind of right behind the bench, just over a little bit, but we were like right on that wall where the bleachers would like kind of slide back. So we were like right there, and the crowd does the intro, and oh my God, like it was so loud. Like I felt like the room was just like shaking. All the guys were like looking around, and like I've heard it loud, but this one playoff game, I remember looking around, everyone's like, oh my God, like I feel like the ceiling's going to come down. Like people were nuts, and they were so pumped for playoff hockey, and we're getting close to that again. I mean, the Red Wings are getting close. But I think some of my other most favorite memories playing at the Joe were when I was playing at hockey at Michigan State. We were college kids, and we had the opportunity to go play in the GLI, and then we would play against Michigan one time there a year on the regular season schedule. And it was one of the coolest things and one of the most best experiences ever was to be a college kid, to go to an NHL rink, play against your rival in front of a sellout crowd, and go to battle with your buddies. And those are some of the great memories I'll always have about Joe Louis Arena too, being a Sparty and playing there.
She was looking for tickets to Duel in the Deep, so he's going to ask you directly. He's going to be like, "Hey, you got the
that D Miller? Was I asking for tickets?"
D Miller.
You played in Anaheim. You played in Tampa.
I'm gonna change that to Miller.
You got to. That poor guy. That poor guy's a big fan, and you're just crushing this guy. See, this is what hockey players do.
I appreciate the love, man.
Miller.
So, playing in Anaheim, playing in Tampa, outside of Detroit, I know you just told those stories, and I'm sitting here like I'm ready to go play. But like, what was like a cool, arena to play in, and outside of playing at home in Detroit?
Yeah, no, we got to play in some really cool arenas. I think anywhere you played in Canada, I think just the appreciation and the knowledge of the game. I think like
there we go.
Oh,
there we
go.
See,
there we go. Montreal, playing in Montreal is always fun.
He's Liberia and Canadian.
Hey, I got some Canadian love. My dad was born in Canada. I got a lot of the Miller side comes from Canada. My grandpa came down from Regina, Saskatchewan in the early 50s to Michigan State. So, I got the Canadian blood in me too. So, But
Look, I've
playing
been
up
in
there, I
Toronto
think, like,
during the NBA playoff times, and like no one's paying attention. You can't find NBA in any sports bar, restaurant, anywhere up there. It's all
Yeah.
Mapes. It's all Mapes. I get it.
yeah. So I think like even playing on like the west side, playing like Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton up there, it was fun. Like I think I enjoyed those times, but I think one of my favorite rinks has to be one of the original 6 rivalry Chicago Blackhawks. And they have the national anthem with like the opera singing guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That gets you there. The whole crowd's going nuts. You're just buzzing inside, getting ready to go. And I mean, that was, I loved that national anthem. I love the rivalry against Chicago. And it didn't hurt that I always felt like I played pretty good in that arena too. So
You forgot to mention at the time HSBC in Buffalo, but that's all right. We'll let you.
Well, when I go play in Buffalo, it was never about me. It was always about my brothers. So I had to share the spotlight with them.
So how was that like playing against your brother? You know, you had the opportunity to do that, and you know, that sibling rivalry girl, and then you playing against him in the NHL. What was that like, and what was that like for your family?
No, I think it was fun. I think we got a lot of practice at it in the basement growing up, playing mini sticks, street hockey. So, but I'll never forget him in Buffalo, playing for Buffalo, and me for Anaheim, and we played against each other in Anaheim, and we have a picture of us like hugging at center ice. And I have to brag a little bit. Like I never scored on him, but I think I'm like 8-1-1 against them. And I had an assist in Detroit on Darren Helm's goal that got him pulled in the game. So I felt bad about that when he had to like roll out after the game, and we had like 60 or 70 like family friends all there like to see him and see us play. And I think he got pulled in like the second period or something like that. So
like, come on, bro.
Pretty good dish.
That was just sweet.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. It was me. So to that, there's a question from one of the guys, Trevor Thompson, in the chat, who asked if Ryan Miller had to play left wing and Drew played goalie, how would that look? Who would be better at a new position?
Oh man, I think my brother, he started out playing forward as a young kid, and then wanted to be a goalie. And my dad told him, like, well, I don't want you to be a goalie. I want you to be a forward. And he goes, well, I want to be a goalie. And he goes, all right, you go out there and score a hat trick. I'll buy you goalie equipment. I guess he went out in like the first period, scored 3 goals, came over with a glass, and was like, never played forward ever again, and was a goalie from then on. And I think he's a real student of the game. He's very intelligent, understands the game and the systems. He skates. I mean, I don't think most people understand that the goaltender has to be a very, very good technical skater too, on their edges. So I think that he would probably actually transition out to forward way better than I would go in goalie. I'd be like, you'd probably be better off just trying to block it like I do as a forward. I think it'd be pretty difficult. So I think Ryan would probably win in that one.
You know, before we let you go, a lot of people on here give me grief because I enjoyed my time in East Lansing. So, you know,
give you that bull.
After, you know, a good night out, you know, nothing wrong with Poncheros, you know.
Oh man, I took the Stanley Cup to Poncheros.
What did it tell you guys about this? So when obviously every player gets a day with the Stanley Cup, correct? Yeah. So like, what are the rules that goes behind
rules?
Like what, you know?
You're not allowed to like throw it in a pool. Like,
but then was he Crosby with it in a pool?
I mean, it's the holy grail of hockey, man. You want to like treat it with respect and have fun with it for sure. I think the one of the worst things that I did, it wasn't even bad, but we were downstairs at the Land Shark and we're on the dance floor, and I have all my friends and family and my wife is right in front of me. We're dancing on the dance floor. I'm like this with a cup, like, and all of a sudden the guy comes over and he like taps me, the keeper of the cup. And I'm like, what's up, dude? It's always so loud. He's like,
So does the handler, like, is there multiple handlers that's like living in the state where you're at, or they travel with the Stanley Cup?
They travel with the cup. So he had to fly out the next day and go somewhere else. But I went to Darren Helm's Stanley Cup party after he won with Colorado a couple years back. He has a house here in Detroit, and they had it here, and the same guy was there. So we were like talking and laughing about stuff, and he was talking about the shark bowls and all that stuff. So he remembered it. He was like, "That was a fun one, man. That was a good one." So they probably seen some crazy stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
now, does he wear the gloves the whole time?
When he's handling it, yeah. I think when they have to grab and do stuff, he puts the gloves on and goes. Does his thing, yeah. So
I've heard some crazy stories about that cup. You know, motorcycles, all kinds of things. I mean,
I've
it's been
seen
a lot of
people
places.
on jet skis with it and everything.
Yeah.
You say you can't throw it in a pool, but yet they're on jet skis with it. And who was it? Ovechkin. He's out there. And
what about Bob Probert?
Oh, I'm sure Bob. Yeah, they had some fun.
Man.
No, this is awesome, man. Like, look, there's a lot of questions. I think we can continue that. There's one more here from Brian Schultz. Hockey players are a different kind of athlete. Let's see. Here we go. During the game, they go 100%. Afterwards, they line up and shake hands with their opponents. Very classy. I guess it's more of a statement for you.
Yeah, I think that was more of a college thing. I think in pros, we did it once you eliminate a team, you shake hands in playoffs. And I think one of the other things that's kind of been happening the last few years, I think is a really classy thing in hockey is someone like it happened for my brother, Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, these guys that have amazing careers, long careers, big names in the game. If they're playing their last couple games or whatever, the opposing team knows this, so everyone lines up and shakes their hand and saying good career. So I think that there's definitely a respect factor in hockey. I mean, there's guys that get in fights, punch each other's face in, and at the end they're like, "Hey, buddy, good fight." Like, I think that's just kind of the culture and the mentality that hockey's had. I can't say that every handshake has ended well in hockey either, because there's been a few fights and punches thrown in a handshake line too. But I think for the most part, hockey guys, they leave it on the ice, and I'm sure both teams could go to the bar and have a beer together or a burrito or whatever it is late night. And just be, I mean, hockey guys are hockey guys. I think anyone can kind of hang out with anyone, and you see that when guys get traded, you just go right in and kind of like mold right into the team, because I mean, there's not much of a difference between each team. Everyone's got a pretty similar type of person on the team or makeup of guys, so hockey guys can fit in pretty quick.
All right, Drew, before I let you go, just tell everyone what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I transitioned out of hockey, and I'm doing insurance. I'm with Kraken Insurance Group out of Southfield, Michigan, independent agency. We do personal, commercial, life, health, disabilities, all that. So it's great. It's competitive. Celebrate the wins, pissed off about the losses, and It's good. It's fun.
And I gotta say, I got my life insurance through your company, so there we go.
Take care of you.
Yes, you did.
Call Drew.
Call Drew. He'll take care of you. If not, he'll buy you a burrito.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It's been great, Drew. Like, love having you on the show, man. You know, tons of stories. You know, we just have a little basketball game coming up here. We would love to go to a Michigan State hockey game with you. How about that? You know, we got some people that are connected over there. I know if we could throw your name around, we could probably get some real access in the Mud Ice Arena, right?
Now they're selling booze at the beers at the game now too.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Compliments to the boss.
It's definitely
now we don't have to go to Harrison Roadhouse pregame, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Yep.
I appreciate you, Drew.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate you guys. Go green.
D. Miller. This is Sparta MSU. Man, guys, that was an awesome interview. You know, I know we want to wrap things up because the hoops game is coming on right now. I know we saw that Dougie. You know, we gotta go. Come on. We know, we are aware that it's coming on Peacock right now. Okay, streaming. Final thoughts before we get out of here, because guys, let's not forget what's coming. That was a phenomenal interview with Drew Miller. We got the coach coming next week. This week, in a couple of days. I'm sorry, a couple of days, right? Is that right? We got who's that coming on Thursday?
Yeah, man, we got the number one new guy in town, new kid on the block, Coach Smith. So we're looking forward to celebrating Coach Smith and getting to know him and letting Spartan Nation get to know him as well, and our new leader in football. So we're excited. I got to give kudos, shout out to Steve Smith, because he's always our hype man, you know, especially supporting it after every show. He's like, great job, but put in the comment, this is Sparta MSU, makes you love all sports equally because we get to know the people behind the uniforms. So that's a shout out, credit to all three of us on here, but definitely we can't do it without Spartan Nation and our followers. But I enjoyed this because it kind of brings the memories back of when we're young men on campus, and you know, get to see us in our as we age and get wiser and have families. Huh? You say what?
As we mature.
Yeah, mature.
Throughout the maturation process.
Mature.
No, great show tonight, fellas. Great show.
Absolutely. Chew, final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I just appreciate Drew coming on. Good show. Appreciate This is Sparta MSU fam for joining us. You know, taking their Tuesday night with us before the game. Hope we got you warmed up for a Spartan victory. Last time we did this, we had a victory. So let's keep that train rolling.
Let's keep it moving. Get ready to watch Michigan State basketball.
Two. When I yell defense,
don't forget it.
Shout out to my girl Miley Cyrus, 2 Grammy Award wins.
Oh boy, and it doesn't stop. And Sean, just to answer your question, we are not doing a signing day show tomorrow because we are taping the show for Thursday with Coach Smith. So that means you need to submit your questions. We're not going to be live, and I'll be in the chat. We're going to be in the chat along with you. However, if you have a question that you want us to ask Coach Smith, get it to our social media. Go to our DMs at This is Sparta MSU, anywhere, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Let us know what questions you want, and we will ask the man, because we're taping that tomorrow, and you will see it Thursday night. Guys, that is a wrap on this show. For Otis Wiley and Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. Have a good night. God bless you all, and go green.
Go white.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU is a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Tony LaBarbera, Tony Gustella, and Process Driven Consulting. Additional support is provided by Brendan Duravage. On-location technical support provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our host Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest This is Sparta news, please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree, and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.